Hi, Professor Pitt. This is Abigail Herrera coming to you from my bedroom, and I will be discussing with you today the article that was done in 2017 by USA Today. Old workers feel on track for retirement. Are they? So, one thing that we had talked about this semester was how intertwined retirement is on aging Americans, and especially males, and how they have this gender identity to keep on working and working and working because of how society has set us up. We had discussed how Lauren Wade, who worked at Walmart till the age of 104, just kept working. And even though he enjoyed just working for the love of it, there is a gender role identity that is placed on males as we enter into retirement. So, as Paul Davison wrote in his article on USA Today, he looks at how retirement is affecting older individuals and questioning if they truly understand what it takes to be financially stable after your work years are gone. So a huge factor that Davison points to why adults aren't feeling it yet or are unaware of the financial baggage they must carry is because of the Great Recession that we had about 8 years ago. And so the article kind of starts off by Davison explaining the confidence that adults 45 to 65 years of age feel about their retirement. And with this survey, he surveyed 1,250 adults, and it revealed that 59% of these adults felt somewhat prepared for retirement, and 65% of those individuals were even more confident that they would have enough funds to last them through their golden years. But even though these 65% revealed to be putting some money towards a retirement, about $100, and the unemployment rate has gotten better. It's only at 4.7% compared to the 10% in 2009. And the Dow Jones has even been tripled since the post-recession and has hit all-time highs in recent years. Many workers, especially out of these ones surveyed, still aren't feeling that financial freedom of retirement coming because of what Davidson says, their nest eggs or savings are gone. So when I talk about savings, Davison talks about savings for individuals being nest eggs. So like I said, a lot of these workers aren't feeling the freedom of retirement coming because their nest eggs are gone. So out of those surveyed, 27% had listed that they had no retirement savings or investments, and another 22% having less than $100,000 in savings, and 14% having less than $500,000. And the reason why is because most workers were laid off or in part-time positions or at lower level management when the recession hit, or if they were like my mom, you have companies that just ship your jobs overseas because, our economy was failing, and all this pressure started to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze on these workers, and that left only the mere 5% or upper class being able to save about $1 million or more. And that's what the survey showed, that only about 5% of the listed that they surveyed would have been able to save $1 million or more in savings, which to me is a little crazy, and I don't really think that's really realistic of a good majority of the population. So But nonetheless, even though a lot of workers are still feeling, still having less than $500,000 or even $100,000 in their savings, they're still being confident that they can make it through their retirement. So 50% of those believed $500,000 was enough to be comfortable living. But Davidson had a expert working with him on the article, Aaron Ramu. I don't really know how to say it. And he basically said, regardless of what you're saving, what it's ultimately coming down to is how a retiree's lifestyle is and their spending patterns. And he himself expressed concern that the number of Asian Americans that have less than $100,000 in their names for savings is still very alarming. But honestly, what was very interesting about this article was just when they started interviewing individual workers about their savings. And from here, you could start seeing how critical a gender role on males was starting to take form in regards to how families rely on the male to kind of get them through that retirement and just providing for the family. So they interviewed, I have two examples. They interviewed this one man who was 65 years old. His name was Christopher Zell. He is still working 39 years as a technician worker for a network TV affiliate. And he said that he was able to accumulate at least $250,000 socked away, which again, remember the comparison to the survey that they believed $500,000 was enough for retirement. Zell had saved $250,000, but he noted that a lot of the reason it hadn't been more was because his wife's had been spending, she had spent a year or more of recovery in a nursing home. And so he believed that, at any moment, his wife's health could fail, the market could crash, and still he's being stuck with this financial responsibility to feel like he has to carry on. And then in a different interview, they surveyed this couple, Marina and Jim, who were both 56, both bankers, both still working, but Marina noted that since Jim lost his six-figure job in the last year, she doesn't feel very secure. And it's very telling just about the responsibility that society is still placing on males. And what's even more telling is the recent survey that they had also done in regards to the fact that 43% of workers plan to retire by age 65, but a roughly equal amount of those express that they want to wait to retire until 66 or older to get the retirement that they want. And this, in general, is just putting more stress on males in our society, or this role that we have created for them, that they have to keep going and going. And I mean, it's same for women. I mean, we're still having to go that long as well, but I think the responsibility role about being financially stable is still coming down to being placed on the males, and so that's kind of frustrating for them. And I know that we had talked about in one of our extended responses at one time about this generation of talent survey, which basically had looked at different work environments and how different work environments could set up different social expectations and experiences in society. And when in that survey, it was either talking about equal time and specialized roles between males and women,